to get my back blown out in peace. You think I got time to talk about a divorce that's a year old?
It was supposed to be just another night of celebration at a major Hollywood event, the Bet After Party. A gathering full of music, joy, and excitement, where the stars let loose after the performances and red carpet glamour. But this particular night turned into a scene of chaos, capturing the attention of fans, celebrities, and the entire entertainment world. Teyana Taylor's mother, a figure always known for her protective nature, was caught on camera delivering an emotional, fiery rant that left everyone in shock. The moment was raw, unfiltered, and filled with a level of emotion that could no longer be ignored. Teyana's mother was seen publicly criticizing Iman Shumpert, accusing him of being one of the primary sources of emotional pain in her daughter's life. She was furious, calling out Iman for his role in contributing to the strain Teyana had faced while balancing her career, family life, and the never-ending spotlight of fame. "Fame has ruined my baby," she shouted in the video, her voice quivering with anger and frustration. Fans, who had grown accustomed to seeing Teyana and Iman as the perfect couple, were stunned. The video spread quickly, igniting a whirlwind of reactions across social media. Some fans were taken aback, wondering if this was simply a moment of venting that had been blown out of proportion. Others, however, saw it as a candid admission of the real struggles that Teyana had been dealing with for years. The video was immediately shared by thousands on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. The comments flooded in as the public debated the truth behind her outburst. Was this simply a mother protecting her daughter from the dangers of fame? Or was there more to the story that had yet to be uncovered? Fans who had followed Teyana's career for years began to see the cracks in the public image of their relationship, with many pointing out how the pressures of fame had affected Teyana's mental health and emotional well-being. As Teyana's mother's words rang out, it became clear that there was a lot more to this story than anyone had realized. The most important question on everyone's mind, however, was, could this be the end for Teyana and Iman? And if so, what would the consequences be for their family, their careers, and the fans who had so closely followed them? To understand why this particular outburst was so shocking, we need to dive deeper into the complicated history of Teyana and Iman's relationship. For years, the couple had been the epitome of couple goals. Their social media posts were filled with sweet moments of love, laughter, and joy. They seemed to have it all: the perfect relationship, the beautiful family, and a career that continued to climb higher with every passing year. But while they appeared perfect to the public, behind closed doors, things were more complicated. Teyana, known for her relaxed and independent nature, had always been someone who embraced freedom, both for herself and her daughter. She was often seen encouraging her daughter to express herself freely, to be open to the world, and to embrace the love and creativity that surrounded her. Teyana wanted her child to grow up in an environment of acceptance, creativity, and freedom, not bound by rigid rules. On the other hand, Iman was much more protective. As a father, he feared the dangers of the world, especially with the constant exposure to the public eye. He believed that raising their daughter in such an environment required firm rules and structure to keep her safe from the pressures of fame. Their differences were not new. In fact, the cracks had been growing for months. While they tried to maintain a united front for the sake of their fans, the tension between them over parenting and their public lives had slowly begun to bubble to the surface. Teyana's career had only continued to rise, and with it came the challenges of managing her image and finding a balance between family and fame. This pressure was beginning to wear her down, and despite her strength and resilience, the toll was becoming too much. As tensions grew, so did the divide in their families. The cracks, once subtle and concealed, were now impossible to ignore. Teyana's mom, who had always been fiercely protective of her daughter, was the first to speak out. She had watched from the sidelines as her daughter's life seemed to slip through her fingers, overwhelmed by the demands of fame and the pressures of constantly living in the public eye. Teyana had always been a strong woman, but her mother had seen firsthand how the weight of her career and personal life had taken a toll. She had seen her daughter struggle to maintain a delicate balance between the two, often sacrificing her own mental and emotional health in the process. Teyana's mom believed that Iman's refusal to allow Teyana to take full control of her own life and career had only intensified her struggles. From the outside looking in, it seemed that Iman's actions, his insistence on being involved in every decision and his protectiveness, had created an environment where Teyana's autonomy was constantly undermined. To her mother, this wasn't just a matter of parental concern, it was about watching her daughter break under the pressure of a life she had never truly chosen for herself. It wasn't just the fame. It was the feeling of being trapped, unable to live authentically. In Teyana's mother's eyes, Iman's actions weren't simply those of a loving father. They were the actions of someone who couldn't see past his own fears and desires to truly understand what his wife needed. On the other hand, Iman's family responded very differently. They rushed to his defense, insisting that his actions were born out of a deep sense of responsibility as a father. They argued that Iman's protective instincts, though sometimes harsh, were in the best interest of their daughter and that he had every right to be involved in decisions about her life. According to them, his intense involvement in Teyana's career and personal decisions wasn't about control. It was about ensuring that she was protected in a world that could be cruel and unforgiving. They believed he had every right to be concerned about her well-being, especially given the emotional toll that fame had already taken on her. To them, Teyana's mother's criticism was simply another attack on Iman's good intentions, a misunderstanding of his desire to protect his family from the pressures that came with living in the spotlight. As the video of Teyana's mother's emotional outburst went viral, the situation escalated even further. Fans reacted quickly, with many flooding social media to voice their opinions. The response was swift, intense, and emotionally charged, as people who had once looked up to Teyana and Iman now found themselves caught in the middle of a very public family dispute. Some fans expressed their support for Teyana's mom, praising her for speaking out about the emotional toll that fame had taken on her daughter. They saw her words as an act of love, a mother standing up for her child in a moment of crisis. "She's just trying to protect her," one fan commented. "Teyana has always been strong, but this is too much for anyone to handle. The pressure of fame, the pressure of everything, it's breaking her." Many agreed that Teyana's mom had been trying to offer a perspective that had been sorely missing, a reminder that there were real people behind the headlines, people who had suffered from the very public life they were forced to lead. However, not everyone agreed with Teyana's mom's decision to speak out. Others were critical, believing that airing the family's private struggles in public was only going to make the situation worse. "This should have stayed between family," one comment read. "Now everyone's involved in their business, and it's only going to get worse." These fans felt that by publicly addressing the situation, Teyana's mom had opened the floodgates for further scrutiny, bringing even more pressure to an already strained situation. The constant presence of the media and the judgment of the public only deepened the divide, and they worried that the situation would spiral further out of control. What had started as a private family matter was now fully exposed, with everyone weighing in on what was right and wrong. The situation was no longer just about Teyana and Iman. It was about their families, their relationships with their extended families, and the ways in which outside forces had already begun to seep in. The once unified support that Teyana and Iman had enjoyed from their respective families now felt fractured, with each side pulling in different directions. What had been a struggle over parenting and personal autonomy had turned into a full-blown family crisis, one that no amount of public support could resolve. Both Teyana and Iman were caught in the middle of a whirlwind that had begun to swallow them whole, and it was clear that their personal issues were no longer theirs alone to bear. The emotional toll of living in the public eye, combined with the internal family conflict, was beginning to show. And yet, the public response continued to grow louder and more divided. Fans on both sides dug in their heels, defending their views with passion and fervor, unwilling to see the other side of the story. What had started as a simple argument about parenting had exploded into a public spectacle, one that threatened to redefine not just their relationship but also how they were viewed by the world. The video of Teyana's mom's outburst, though deeply emotional and raw, had exposed more than just a family disagreement. It had exposed the deep scars left by fame, control, and the pressure to live up to unrealistic expectations. What had been a moment of personal pain had become a mirror for the world to examine, forcing everyone to question what it meant to be truly happy, to be truly free, in a world that never stopped watching. As the debate raged on, it became clear that the emotional outburst was just the beginning. The pivotal moment came when Teyana herself posted a message on Instagram, acknowledging her mom's video. In the message, Teyana expressed how difficult it had been to maintain a sense of normalcy amidst the pressure of fame. "I love my mom, but this has been hard for me," she wrote. "I've tried to do everything right, but sometimes I wonder if I'm losing myself in all of this." This message from Teyana was a turning point. It showed that her mom's frustration was rooted in something deeper, the emotional strain that Teyana had been silently carrying. It was clear that the situation had reached a breaking point, and the real question now was whether Teyana and Iman could rebuild their relationship after this public outburst. The cliffhanger left fans on edge. Would Teyana and Iman find a way to overcome the turmoil caused by their different approaches to parenting and fame? Would Teyana listen to her mother's concerns and step away from the public eye to regain her sense of self? Or would this public drama mark the end of their relationship, both personally and professionally? The world was watching, waiting for the next chapter in this explosive story. What do you think? Was Teyana's mom justified in speaking out, or should she have stayed silent? Was fame truly the cause of Teyana's struggles, or is there more to the story? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear your take on it. Don't forget to like this video if it shocked you. Subscribe now for more updates because this story is far from over. The next twist could change everything. Stick around, you won't want to miss what happens next.